Hey, I want to do play a little game with you. It's called This or That. I want to learn more about Khan and what you believe. I'm going to give you a question. I'll give you two choices. You can choose one out of the other, but not neither or both. So
Sure.
let's play and see what's up and learn some more about Khan Glay. Um, Start easy. How about just books or podcast?
Podcast.
Okay, glad you said that. Morning routine or night routine?
Morning routine.
Okay. Um, how about TikTok or Instagram?
Definitely TikTok.
Okay, I agree with that, by the way. What do you think about this whole thing with people trying to shut down TikTok?
I think it's it's deeper than just the reasons that they're saying. I think there's a lot of other factors at play that may be bigger than just the security of people's information that is being presented to us. I think it's much larger than that.
Yeah, I'll tell you that got to be true because if Facebook doesn't have all my information already, I don't know who does. So, just saying, I'm just throwing that out there.
But
Okay. Coaching in person or coaching online?
in person, even though most of my clients and most of the people that I work with are online, and I'll tell you why in person. Part of the gift that I possess is, and I recognized this very early in my life when I was working with kids. I remember I was working in a before and after school program, and it turned out that after about 3 months of being there, all the teachers, whenever they had young men in their classrooms that were a little bit rowdy or they couldn't get to settle down, they would send them to this empty classroom with me. And I'd be sitting in this classroom with about 3 or 4 young boys. And I instantly recognized that I could feel where they were. And by being able to feel where they were, that's how I knew the words to say to comfort them, to encourage them, to lift them up. And that has been an ongoing part of what I do and how I do it. So whenever I'm in person with a person and they're actually speaking to me, as they're speaking, I can feel where they are, that sense of distress
Yep.
or pain or whatever it is. I can feel that. And then by feeling it, I know the words to speak to. I know the parts of them that needs light and love. So definitely
Absolutely. I think that is maybe you're an empath and we just don't know. You're a straight up empath. Nice.
there's that that's a part of the gift.
Uh-huh. How about teaching resilience or teaching love?
Oh, absolutely love every single time because love will teach you how to be resilient. Love will teach you how to do all the other things.
Okay, nice. How about healing through reflection or action?
Mm, action. Because if you reflect on a thing and you don't take the necessary actions to reframe or to process it differently, then all you've done is just looked back on the pain or looked back on the experience. But it's always going to take action.
Okay, okay. We didn't talk about girl dad yet, but just as a quick aside, parenting by discipline or by empathy?
Um, I would say empathy. And the reason I say that is because um, sometimes we lean too hard on discipline um, without giving all the other tools that are necessary for a child to really understand the reason why we're saying or doing the things that we're saying.
Okay,
So
makes sense. How about when you do content creation, planned or spontaneous?
planned is always how I start, but the spontaneity always takes over and the lies will kind of go wherever the energy and the need of whomever is there will take us.
Okay. About shadow work or manifestation techniques?
Hmm. I'd say shadow work first, because if you don't work on those subconscious parts of your mind, they will affect and impact your ability to manifest what you desire for yourself.
Okay. About individual healing or community building?
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Okay.
Um, so I would say individual healing, and the reason I say that,
Mhm.
if we all individually focus on healing and focus on living a life where we're distributors of love and we're vessels that carry love, then humanity will heal as a whole.
Okay. I can understand that. Let's talk about coaching for just 1 second.
Sure.
Logic based methods or intuition based methods in coaching?
Um, the only reason I'll say intuition is because the way that most of us are conditioned to think and what we believe is logical thinking is actually contrary to the reality of how we were designed and how life is actually put together. So
Okay.
if you just kind of stay with logic, which is where most people are, a lot of the things that I do and say don't really fit in that box, but it resonates with the spirit being that you are.
Yeah. I actually think emotion is where people live, and even their decisions, most I think, are emotion based, even though we want to think they're logic, but yeah, it ain't happening.
I, I totally agree with that.
How about short term goals or long term vision?
I'll answer it, but I'll say it like this.
Okay.
One of the most important things that I teach people, especially pertaining to making decisions out of your emotions, as we just stated.
Hmm.
Oftentimes, when you make a decision out of your emotions or acting on your emotions, you're making a decision that affects your short term feeling, or at least how you feel in the moment, but it does not serve your long term best interest. So if you're thinking of your long-term best interest, and if that is where your mind is, then the short-term decisions will serve your long-term best interest.
Okay. How about healing others or healing yourself? What comes first?
That's beautiful. I would always say healing others.
Healing others comes first. Okay.
And
That is an interesting thought, right? Because can you be broken and heal others? I think so, right? You can.
and not only that, in the process of healing others, because here's the visual that I give people. If I see myself as empty and
Mhm.
in need of healing, then it goes back to the conversation we just had about love. I'm only a consumer. I'm waiting for someone to come and give me whatever it is that I need for me to be whole. If I am a distributor of healing, or if I'm a distributor of love, then it has to come through me. It has to
Mhm.
flow through me. So, whatever it is that's broken in me, as I'm in this process of distributing or being the source of love and healing, that will also work within me as it flows out of me to whomever else I'm trying to help or heal.
Nice. I love that. Let's talk about your views on emotional management. How about freedom of emotion or emotional discipline?
Emotional discipline, and the reason I say that is I don't teach people to try to control their emotions. I think that's a flawed line of thinking.
Hmm.
What you're controlling, or what you're trying to grab a hold of, is how you react to your emotions. So one of the sayings that I often use in my coaching is, your emotions are designed to give you information and not directions. When you feel an emotion, your process should be, I feel this. I assess why I feel it. Now I have to think what is going to serve my long-term best interest, and then I act. So yeah, I would say the latter.
Okay. Um, External validation or internal peace?
Internal peace.
Okay, easy.
Yeah.
About self-love or sacrificial love?
Ooh. So I'll answer that like this. When determining, when I'm teaching people this, living a life of love and being a distributor of love, one of the things that is critical for them to understand is that how we determine when it comes to love is either selfish or selfless.
Hmm.
And love will always be selfless. Um, so I think if you look at love from the perspective of what can I give, what can I do, who can I love on, then it kind of simplifies where you draw the line. And oftentimes when I'm teaching people about love, they ask me, well, how do I know that I'm doing something out of love or if I'm doing the right thing? And I tell them, simply ask yourself, is this self-serving or selfless? And if it's self-serving, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but if it engages or if it involves someone else and it's self-serving, then you may not be operating in love.
Can't someone say, I'm doing this because um, I love this person, or I love the outcome, or I love doing whatever, and it becomes a selfish thing for them to give selflessly?
I like that question, and it goes back to really the foundation of what we teach about love, right? The reason I am a vessel of love, one, is because I know this is how I was designed. But the other reason is I'll never lack it if I'm the vessel of it. I'll never lack it if I'm the distributor of it. And I think that's the beauty of the conundrum of love. That if you understand that giving it serves you as well, then
Mhm.
you've figured it out. But if you think I just want to consume it, then you'll always miss it, you'll always lack it, and you'll always be searching for it.
Love that. I got two more for you.
Sure.
Um, Leading with head or heart in tough decisions?
Oh, that's good. Um, Leading with heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to explain it, or you think it's all good?
No, no, I'd say leading with heart because when speaking about love, sometimes hmm, the logical, reasonable thing may not be what serves love,
Okay.
right? So I would say leading with the heart.
All right. Last one. Um, Leaving a legacy or living in the moment?
Mm. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
um, Leaving a legacy. And the reason I say that is because if you have the idea of I want to leave a legacy, I want to leave something behind that will serve other people, it does not it does not rob you of the ability to live in the moment. But
Okay.
you know your long-term goal becomes what directs your short-term decision making. I want to also do this too. I want to go back to that previous question. Um, the way that most of us understand love
Hmm.
is from this real logical, sometimes we kind of see it as an exchange, or I can't give unless I'm receiving. And this is what I often say to people: the moment you realize that your love is not to be coveted and held for specific relationships and specific people, you become a faucet of it. And it is in that moment, and doing that defies all that you know about logic. If somebody goes back to where we started with the young man that took my son's life.
Hmm.
when I say to people, if I had the opportunity to pour love onto that young man, I would. It defies logic. It makes no sense in the way that people understand the world to be. And oftentimes, when you're living in love and you're making decisions out of love and your understanding of love, it's going to defy the logical, regular thinking of our society. But
Yeah.
will always win, and the outcome will always be in your favor.
Okay. Thank you, man. I've enjoyed this conversation a lot. And people need to be able to get in touch with you. I'm gonna There's some things up here on the screen so people can get in touch with you and learn from this powerful message that you've got. For people that aren't seeing the screen, if you're listening on podcast, there's his website is girldadllc.com. That's all one word, girldadllc.com. Then we also have you on TikTok. I love your TikTok discussions where people are just in there and you're asking questions and challenging people. That's at girl dad SOS. That's all one word. GIRLDADSOS. Shouting out for some help there. And then we've also got you on YouTube at girl underscore dad. Thank you so much for being on, Con. It has been an absolute, it's a pleasure just sitting here listening to you and hearing what you have to say, man. I really, really like it. For everyone out there, if you want more of this kind of awesome material, check us out at afunnywayoflooking.com. We're on all of the social media networks, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and they're all under A Funny Way of Looking. And jump onto our newsletter, and we're going to replay some of what Khan has actually said today in the newsletter. That's going to be coming up probably in a couple of weeks. You'll hear from him again. Thank you again so much, man. I really appreciate you.
Hey, Michael, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be able to sit on a podcast like yours and really talk about love and talk about forgiveness and talk about just really people pushing to be the best version of themselves that they can be. There's so many other conversations happening on social media and in general in the world. And to be able to find spaces that allow for these types of conversation where people can actually be fed positive and people can be fed things that will help them to be better. I appreciate any opportunity that I have to be able to do that. So thank you for having me. And I look forward to maybe some more conversations in the future.
There will be some. Um, Everybody, look up Khan. Khan, I'll see you in just a second. Goodbye, everybody.